Sup y'all, Chris, random video. I don't know if any of y'all watch American Ninja Warrior. Love that show. Been watching it since back when it was Ninja Warrior on G4 TV. And now they used to do it in Japan, now they do it in America. Still a fan of the show though. And occasionally, rarely, but occasionally, they've had a few fighters on there, MMA fighters. May have had some boxers, but not anybody I recall of name. And I was watching it the other day. I had another fighter on there. The first fighter I was on there was Genki Sudo. This was back on the original version. He didn't do so well, unfortunately, because I was liking him as a fighter. John Dodson was on it last year. He didn't do so well. I mean, he did all right, especially for his size. Dude is small, but it kind of ended up working against him. And on Monday's episode, they had Michelle Watterson, a.k.a. the Karate Hottie, and she did terrible. She did awful. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it didn't go so well for her. But it had me thinking about which fighters I'd like to see on the show or I think could be really good at it. First off, I don't necessarily couldn't think of any boxers. I just don't think that boxers training really transfers over well to that sport or whatever you want to call it, that course. With MMA fighters, they do a lot of grappling and stuff, so with boxers, they don't really use their hands for that kind of stuff. So, not to say I don't think boxers couldn't compete on it. I mean, I imagine Prime Roy Jones could tear shit up, but just looking at the current boxing landscape, there wasn't really anyone that came to my mind I thought could really compete very well at it. Not to say they couldn't, but just really couldn't think of anyone. As far as MMA fighters, I didn't go through I didn't think of every fighter that could do well. Just fighters I think that could do well that I like to see. It'd more so be lighter weight guys that are really big, very muscular, don't really do very well at that for the most part. I don't really keep track of the weights, but it seems to be around the 150, 170 range. I think fares the best from what I recall. So anyways, guys I'd like to see on there I think could do well. First off, lightweights, Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I'm a fan of him as a fighter, but dude competes in a lot of extreme type sports, snowboarding, motorcycle riding, bull riding, wakeboarding, shit like that. He just likes to do a lot of crazy shit, so I think that would be right up his alley. Plus, he's got the good size for it, good cardio. Ben Henderson, not really a big fan of Ben Henderson, but guy is a physical freak for the most part. Very competitive fighter. And I think he can do well at that as well. Also a very good grappler. Anthony Showtime Pettis, that guy is a freak. Very athletic fighter. Does things in the cage that you're not used to seeing. So I think his athleticism and his current size, would help him do pretty good at it as well. And also lightweight Khabib Nurmagomedov seems to have really good cardio. And the dude wrestles with bears. So I imagine wrestling with bears would give you some pretty good grappling skills or skills with the hands as far as being able to hold on to unusual devices, environments, obstacles, whatever you want to call it. So I wouldn't mind seeing him do it, especially with that blonde wig-looking hat that he wears. Moving up in weight, Nick Diaz, favorite fighter. That's what I want to see him. Competes in triathlons, very competitive guy. Endless cardio. He wouldn't get tired, which seems to be a lot of problems, for guys in that. I mean, that's not the biggest problem, but it definitely seems to be an issue for people that fall on that course, especially when they get to the warped wall. Cardio hits them. I don't think it would be a problem for Nick Diaz. Nick isn't the greatest athlete, but just all the different disciplines that he trains in, and like I said, the triathlons and stuff, I think he could hang. I'd be interested to see how he does on it. What level of competitiveness he would have inside of him to want to do with that. Jacare Souza, he's a middleweight. He's also really good grappler, really athletic guy. I'd like to see him on it. And moving up in weight, or actually one more guy at middleweight, Derek Brunson. Not a very well-known guy, I don't think, in the UFC's middleweight division, but I follow the guy on, I think, Twitter or Facebook, one of those things. And the dude's always posting videos. His training regimen, dude is a physical freak. He does all these box jumps with weights, just athletic specimen, dude. I mean, I know it's kind of stereotypical to call black athletes explosive or dynamic, but the dude definitely fits the bill. And it's not a negative stereotype in his case. I think it's a positive stereotype because the guy's a freak. And I think he could do well. I don't know about cardio-wise, but just on his athleticism and the way he trains, I think he could hang. Phil Davis at light heavyweight, he's also a guy that's an athletic freak. But he's got long reach too, wrestling background, but I think being as muscular as he is, it might catch up in the cardio department, but I wouldn't mind seeing him do at it. John Jones. Now, this is a guy, people would want to see him do it anyway because they want to see him fail. A lot of people hate John Jones. I wouldn't want to see him see him fail, but not very strong, doesn't look physically strong, but he's got the length, not real heavy, not very muscular, where I don't think that he would weigh him down in those kind of events where you have to hang or climb. I actually think he could do pretty well at it. He might be a little bit too tall and lanky for some of the obstacles, but I think that he could probably get through quite a bit of it. His brother played football, so obviously great athletes in the family, so I think John Jones could do pretty well. I don't think he'd make it to the end, but I think he'd do well. Ronda Rousey. Women go at that American Ninja Warrior course. Don't always have the best results. This year, a couple women have done pretty good, but Ronda Rousey, she's about the size, I think, she's a little bit bigger than most of the women on there that compete, but great grappler, great athlete, Olympic caliber level athlete, very determined competitor, very headstrong, very stubborn, so I think she could do pretty well, good at it as well. And the one fighter that I think in his physical prime, which he's not anymore, I don't think he would be able to beat it now based on all the injuries and everything, but the one guy that I think in his prime could beat that American Ninja Warrior course, or at least make it further than any other fighter, would be George St-Pierre. The guy is an amazing athlete, very flexible, trains gymnastics, just does a lot of unorthodox training you don't see a lot of MMA fighters doing. Very flexible, very strong. Obviously, dude's had numerous championship fights that have gone the distance, so cardio wouldn't be a problem for him. I just think he might be a little bit big for it. 170 isn't huge, but he's got a lot of upper body weight, a lot of muscles, but like I said, cardio has never really been a problem for him in the past in 5-round fights, so he's a guy I think that could most likely, of all the people I mentioned, probably have the best chance to be the first American Ninja. Oh shit, he's not American. Well, he'd be the first Canadian American Ninja Warrior. Either way, though, I think that he would have the best chance. Anyways, like I said, just a random video, just because I watched the show and I was thinking about it. Hope to see more fighters on there, or more athletes that I recognize in the future. Occasionally, you'll see like an NFL player, or someone that you might recognize from another the Olympics, winter sport, or extreme sport. But hope to see more fighters on there in the future. Anyways, that's it for now. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. If you watched the show, let me know what you think about it. Any of the people I mentioned, you think they could do well at it? Or is there any other fighters you could think of, MMA fighters or boxers, past or present, that you think could do really well on that show or on the course? That's it for now. Link to Twitter and the information as always. Till next time, I'm out.